Got the stove ash right here. You can see this is from our wood stove. Well, hello everyone. I thought I'd give you a little tour of our garden and our garden planting tour here today. So let's take a look at where we're putting the tomatoes, where we're putting the asparagus, and also we got a strawberry patch started. So we're going to take a look at all of this here right now. You just scoop a little bit?
Yeah. So I usually do like that much.
All right.
And you bring it over. And the first thing you really want to do is be very gentle with the tomato plants because they're easy to break. And you fold them up. And you'd want a pretty good sized circle, 2 hands basically, around your tomato plant so the worms can't get to it, and you just sprinkle a little bit around the whole thing.
So if there's insects, worms, grubs, and things like that, that'll just keep them away. Any pests?
Right. And this is just wood ash, not garbage.
All right, just wood ash.
Burning some wood.
Let's take a look at this gem over here. So I don't know what vintage this is. Coast to Coast Hardware. Probably, oh gosh, 30 years ago? I don't know how wide that is. It's probably a foot wide, 12-inch tiller. Fires up pretty easy though. It's about, I don't know, 60 degrees out, and it's a nice, we're working here on a Friday, and I got my hoodie on because I sunburn on my back and my neck really easy. So it's nice to have this. Also the wind gets crazy up here, so I like to have a little wind protection on my ears and also from the beating sun. And if you look right back here, you can see the dandelion out in the fields here. They are just turning bright yellow the last couple days. So we got a nice hay field out here, but it's just a brilliant yellow with all the dandelions. So we're gonna go take a look at that as well. What do you think, Lily? So here we are out in the hay field, and you can see that these May dandelions are just blossoming everywhere. What do you think? Garden planting day?
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna tell us about?
We got lots of wild raspberries.
Wild what?
Raspberries.
Wild raspberries. Look at these wild raspberries that we have right in the garden, the edge of the garden, and all around the garden. So right at the edge of the garden, we got all these wild raspberry bushes. So nice wild raspberries there. All right, here's our ash pan from the wood stove. Now, why is it that people put ash in their garden and on the plants? Hopefully that'll deter any bugs. Just a simple walk from the cabin here. We do have the lake in the background here. We pulled out the strawberries in here in the old winter sled here. So right here's the edge of the garden. Henry Boy, he's got some tomatoes right by the strawberries here. And so what we did is we put these stakes in right here, and we just tied the string around them. And it worked pretty good just to take the V-shaped garden hoe, and we just drug it right along the edge of the string here, so we get some nice straight rows. So again, if you want to take a look at, we got tomatoes in, and just a couple feet over, We got the strawberry runners in, and we're putting these strawberries about every 8 inches apart. And so these strawberry plants have, what, 3 to 5 year life cycle on them? Right here. And we just tied the string around them, and it worked pretty good just to take the V-shaped garden hoe, and we just drug it right along the edge of the string here. So we get some nice straight rows. So again, if you want to take a look at, we got tomatoes in, and just a couple feet over, we got the strawberry runners in, and we're putting these strawberries about every 8 inches apart. And so these strawberry plants have, what, 3 to 5 year life cycle on them. So hopefully that next year we're going to start getting some bigger berries and flowers off this. Now these tomato plants, we're hoping, how high will these tomato plants get? 2-3 feet high? I don't know. Well, we're kind of learning as we go here, so if you got any tips and tricks on tomato planting, we put these every, I don't know, 18 inches apart here. And
I can do some if you want me to. So you take it out of there, you break up the bottom a little, then you want it to be dirt filled up to about there, where these, just below where those are. So wherever you can find where you're gonna have ground level here, you want to get this down to about ground level like that. Nice. Yep, you gotta pull that away, pack it a little.
so we got a 2-foot marker right here to the green rubber band. There's 2 feet. So what I do is just loosen up these rope a little bit, get some slack on it after I got my trough hoed out here. And then what we do is we'll just loosen it up, pull it out, and go over to the marker right there. We'll come up here a little bit and just hammer it back down in there. So once you got the stake in the ground, you just loop the poly cord around the stake a couple times, and then you can pull it tight as you pull back on it here, and you got 2 or 3 rings of wrappings there. It just stays tight. So you pull on it and give it some tension over here, and then it just stays nice and tight. And that's all it is just some of this poly cord. You can get like 50 feet or 100 feet of that. stretch right there. We'll put on a 2-foot mark with the rubber band. And again, just do this and loosen up the stake, pull it out, and then we're coming down right on the mark, and we'll hammer that in. What are you doing over here, Henry?
Mixing vitamin water for the plants.
Dirt all over the leaves, honey.
So we're putting a little vitamin water right on top of the tomatoes.
That tree swallow keeps flying right over us.
It buzzes your head.
It does. Stop, you just got mud on my face. See it again. 3 of them. Can I see that? See you guys. Look.
See ya.
Those
Are you off to make lunch?
Small batch of rhubarb. We just dug about a 6-inch hole here. Got a little rhubarb starting out. Right next to that, we got some chives. So we just same thing, just dug it in about 6-8 inches. Had a nice little cluster of roots there. And you can see what these are looking like. Nice to make a little chive dip. A little bit of chive and sour cream on your quesadilla, chicken quesadillas, ripple chips, potato chips, a lot of good things you can make with chives. We got asparagus starting out. So this is what it looks like when you got these asparagus roots. Now this is wild asparagus, and we are going to experiment this year. So anybody got any tips or tricks on productivity for asparagus, just let us know in the comments here. So again, we're planting these every, I don't know what, 8 inches apart here. And we got them spaced apart about 10-12 inches this way. And right over here we have our garden shed. Just sheds off the rain here, and we put a couple birdhouses on here. Now we got a couple nice bluebirds found their way and started nesting right in here. I guess eventually I'd like to get some posts and put these on there, but these were just temporary. And as we moved this little building over to the garden here, and sure enough, it didn't take more than 1 or 2 weeks here in the spring, and we got beautiful bluebirds, and we got some bright orange orioles right next door. We just set out a bird feeder over here as well. So kids go exploring on the wheeler. We got a little watering station on the back of that. Nice little water tank with a sprayer. But you can check it out there's a wren house right up here. Just check out the video on wren placement and wren houses. But right next door we're gonna see if we can get some different types of birds. We got jam and jelly here on this feeder. And right over here we got sunflower seeds. Right here in this bird feeder. And right over here we got a nice pretty orange. So right now it's just sitting there. Obviously we're gonna have to come up with a tray for them to land on, as well as for wind. And so again, this is was installed here. We just dug a post in the ground, and this will get modified here in just a little bit. But I just wanted to show you, we got so many birds right here by the garden. We got the sparrows, the bluebirds, the orioles, and again, they're finding their way right here into this nest box, and then that nest box birdhouse right here. So what I'd like to do is get sides on this little building here so we can put our tools, and different supplies right here at the garden. And as you can see, here's the edge of the garden. And over there is where we're planting the strawberries, the tomatoes. And we get a little bit bigger tiller right here. We worked up all this with the old Cenex. That actually worked pretty good. So I don't know what you guys use for tillers in your gardening. Do you like to use the old tillers or do you like to use the brand new tillers? I don't know, let us know. I'd like to know how you till up and what you use to till up each. Or maybe you're just using your hands and a hand rake. We are giving the tomatoes a little plant food, some vitamins. So this is what we're using. We're mixing and diluting the Miracle Grow here. All right, turn it on, let's see. And now towards the end of the day here, we are finishing up with the onions. These are candy onions. So those are spaced every 4 or 5 inches apart. But we got a nice row of onions for our salsa this fall. We got peppers, onions, tomatoes. We got the key ingredients all planted today. We got the peppers over here. And next to that, we got the tomatoes. And then for dessert, we'll have some strawberries.